Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about shafts, short shafts, long shafts. Now, I've ordered the drive shaft for the 83 k20. I didn't have any videos of building this truck, like I've said. It's been a long project, but it was a long bed, 3/4 ton. I've cut it down. If you've not seen any of the videos, the last little bit, cut it down to a short bed. If you watch the video, the 87, my son-in-law's, his 87 R10, we cut it down from a long bed to a short bed. It was pretty simple. We just found a short bed drive shaft, for a square body, and everything bolted right in. This truck, where it's 3/4 ton, it's got 1350 U-joints. I mean, they're huge compared to a half ton, a 1310 or 1330. So I'm going to turn the camera around here and show you what I ended up finding. I was kind of searching around. I was going to do PEM Racing. I was going to have them to build one, or Knoxville Driveline. I've had Knoxville Driveline in Knoxville, Tennessee. They built one for the 50 model, and we put a T5 in it. They done an awesome job too. But I need about a 39-inch drive shaft. It's going to be around $400 balanced drive shaft with a 1350 joints. So 400 to 500, somewhere in there. So kind of was searching around. I was going to get PM Racing or just a Southwest Racing drive shaft. They're pre-built. You can get them on eBay. They had 39.5-inch drive shafts, but they're all 1310 U-joints. So I'd had to run a conversion U-joint at the transfer case and the rear end. I was really wanting to run the 1350s, like the stock U-joints, so I can go to any parts store. A lot of them don't carry the crossover U-joints. So I got to doing a little searching. I just happened to get on Fleabay there one day and search for a 39.5-inch drive shaft, thinking Southwest Driveline was going to pop up some drive shafts. And apparently a 2007 to 14 Cadillac Escalade short bed, the short Tahoe all-wheel drive with the 6.2. They have a 39.5-inch drive shaft with 1350 U-joints. So that was the first thing that popped up, and I'll try to look and see who the seller was. They was awesome. The thing was packaged great, got here quick. It is a used drive shaft. I'm going to have to change out, put my slip yoke on it. But yeah, so far I'm really impressed. Let me turn around here and I'll show you. Yeah, I'm using the bed of the truck as a workbench. But as you can see, this is the shaft I've got. The factory shaft is 52 3/4 center to center. 14 inches off that's like, which is what is cut out of the truck. Would put it back factory, which I don't mind it being a little bit longer with the truck lifted. But 14 inches from that's what, 38 3/4. So I got to thinking, if I found one about 39.5, that'd give me a little bit of room back up into the transfer case. And sure enough, that's what the one out of the Escalade is. So, instead of spending a ton of money, they had this for, I made an offer on it for like $90. Had the U-joints, everything in it. All the U-joints seemed good, tight. So, yeah, we're going to run them. I'm going to knock these out. I'll set the camera up. We're going to take these out. Put my slip yoke on there. Unless that yoke, you know what, we may try this one. I don't know if it's a 20. Nah, that's way too big. That's too big. Yeah, but we're gonna get this puppy set in there so we ain't driving around in front wheel drive anymore. Well, I got the Escalade yoke knocked off of it, and come to find out, I should have checked it before. It's the same yoke as the original one. Now, I know a lot of people's going to look at the yoke that was in the truck and say, not enough of it in there, but that was with the factory drive shaft, and this is where it rode. So whenever I measured for the new drive shaft, I measured with the yoke in about the original spot on the truck. Yeah, to me it looks like it hangs out too far too, but this drive shaft's 39.5. It's only 13 inches shorter The truck, or it's 13 inches shorter than the long bed drive shaft. I cut 14 inches out of the truck when I shortened it. So actually this is an inch longer than what I took out of the truck. So if you put in for the lift and the angle of the dangle, it is back in about the same location that it was. I mean, there's still 3 inches riding up in the transmission, and I have pushed this up in the transfer case. It does not bottom out. It only goes probably 1.5 inches past this mark. I'll show you when we go to put it in, but I'm gonna get set up, drive the factory yoke back in. I'm actually gonna take some emery cloth and clean it up a little bit, but we'll get it drove back on the U-joint, and like I said, we may end up replacing these U-joints. And the main reason I went this route with a drive shaft, not for sure that it's going to stay automatic. So I didn't want to get a drive shaft cut with this $700 in it and end up putting a $465 in it and have to get another drive shaft made. You know, it'd be a waste of $400 or $500. So we're going to go this route, and it'll be good enough for right now. At least I can unlock the hubs and pull it around and rear wheel drive, get it around the yard. And hopefully if the transmission does good, we probably won't change it, but if it ever comes out, we're going with a 4-speed, maybe AMV 4500. I'd love to have a 5-speed in it. I'm just not much on an automatic vehicle. I'd rather have a straight shift about than anything. So I'm gonna get this yoke put on. We'll get up and under there, get it slid in. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, I got the yoke put back on. I didn't film driving the U-joint in. I think I've done it when we cut the 87 model down. I showed you how I do it just with a socket. Like I said, I put the factory yoke back on it. And as you can see, you can't see, but about right there is where it's going to ride. That was the factory drive shaft location. So, I mean, that's where I measured. Actually, it's going to ride just a little deeper in there. Let me get it put in. I'll show you. But it's going to be about in the factory location. And if you look, because I know a lot of people said, man, that yoke's hanging out a long way. That yoke bottom's right there. So, I mean, it doesn't hardly go all the way. I measured it once. I think it's about 1.5 inches. It slides out where it rides at. I'll measure it right here and see. Kind of see on the seal where it hit. I don't know if you can see the tape measure, but it's about 1.5 inches backed out from bottom. I'm gonna get a 7/16 wrench, get turned around here, and put the rear in. So I didn't show it on my video, but I packed the front caps with some red and tacky. That's some good stuff. That'll hold needle bearings in place like you ain't never seen. Damn it. Need something to pick that cap up in there, will you? Hold it in place till I can get the bolts in it. Get the straps put back on. Yeah, I mean, I'm just tickled this worked. I had no idea any newer vehicle had that big of a U-joint, a 1/2 ton anyway. I guess maybe with a 6.2 motor, reason why, don't know. When you're putting these rear U-joints in, you want to make sure your U-joint fits up in the ears. Well, probably gonna have to roll the truck around a little bit. Get the yoke right where I need it to be. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Go ahead and tighten these bottom ones up just a little bit. Right, I'm gonna get me a ratchet and a socket. I can kind of hit them with it, snug them up, roll the truck just a little bit. So let me grab a socket. All right, so I got me a socket. Snug the bottom ones up. I'm gonna roll it around where I can get to the other ones. About right there. Also, I got the transfer case in neutral. Anybody has wondered. Alrighty. Get these snugged up. Make sure this cap sits up inside this ear. Go ahead and kind of pack that up in place with my packer here. Nothing like having the right tool for the job. Can't go wrong with vice grips. I don't even know what they're under here for, but the place I bought the drive shaft from, that's great. I mean, it shipped quick. It was packaged very, very well. It was Old Barn Classics LLC. They were somewhere out of Ohio. And luckily, they were the only ones that had the center to center drive shaft measurement. Was the main reason I kind of got to looking to see if these would work. And I can kind of see just a little bit. I'll have to get that with the wrench. I can see a little bit of more of the yoke out of the transfer case, but not much from what it was factory. And a lot of that's the lift. If I'd even done this, you know, as a long bed lift in the truck, it's going to pull the yoke out of the transfer case just a little bit more. I've put quite a few 4-inch lifts on these trucks, and never ever have I had to lengthen a drive shaft for a 4-inch lift. I've had some with 6-inch without the drive shaft lengthened, and it's pushing it, but I had 1 or 2 with about 8. It was homemade, cobbled up lift, but I don't remember if it had the drive shaft length, and I'm sure it did. I mean, really 6 inches, it ought to be lengthened. And like I said, if we end up going with a 4-speed, we're gonna redo all this anyway. But for now, I just want to drive it to the store and put some gas in it. Yep, drive it and put some gas in it. Well, I've got the hubs unlocked. We're gonna fire it up right here in just a second and back it out for the first time in a long time with the rear end instead of the front end. I am tickled. All right, we're gonna back it out for the first time with a rear drive pole in it in a long time. Put the mic back here. This is the best quarter jet I have ever had. But y'all don't listen. This is a cold started. It started. Thought I'd give you all a little cold start. Hadn't been started in about a week. I was talking, realized I put the mic at the back of the truck. That's my $200 exhaust. I'm gonna take her for a little trip down the driveway. See what it's like being in two-wheel drive for the first time in a long time. Been moving it around with the front end locked in for so long. I've unlocked the hubs, moved the shifter to two-wheel drive. Go see what it's all about. This is probably the best running 350, the best quadrajet jet I've had in years. Most people's afraid of the quadrajet. Jet. They're actually a really good carburetor. If you got a bad one, people say you got a bad one, but they're really not that bad to rebuild. Like, they're not bad at all. I know one thing with this rough country lift and 10-ply tires. This puppy rides about like a radio flyer. We done hit second gear. Ooh, them brakes are touchy. Touchy. Got to get some brake shoes for the rear. Get my wheel back around here. We're about to the point of getting some side windows in it, some rear brakes. What else? Rear brakes, side windows, rear brakes, and something else. Oh, yeah, insurance, tags, insurance. We'll be ready to mosey on down the road. I know it's got first and second gear anyway. I've run it in low lock down the driveway before, and it's went through all the gears. I honestly, I've never had no luck with a 700R, and I've got everything. The TV cable's a big thing on the 700R. It's all adjusted right, but I never had no luck. Of course, I used to be rough on stuff. Keeping it in the mud. This one will probably never see no more than the gravel driveway down through there. Well, guys, that's it. Got a rear drive shaft in it now. Pretty cheap. Don't be afraid to look around. And I'd have never thought about a Tahoe Escalade 4-wheel drive rear drive shaft working and having a 1350 U-joint. I'm not for sure the Tahoes do. I know this drive shaft supposedly come out of a 6.2 Escalade, 07 to 14. And it was about the right length, had the right U-joints. Don't have to run a conversion U-joint. I can get a U-joint for the truck or the Escalade, either one. And it'll work. I don't have to worry about the parts store carrying a conversion U-joint. We went through heck with the 87 model trying to find can't remember if it's a 1310 or a 3R to a 1330, but it was awful trying to find we've got one parts store in town that keeps a lot of stuff like that, and they're not open on the weekends. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching. Hang around. I've got the vent windows. I still haven't ordered the seals for them. I need to try to order them. May try to order them tonight and get them in. I want to do a video on rebuilding them. If you've got $400 or $500 to buy a set, buy them. But I'm gonna have less than $100 in these, and they're gonna look pretty good. I've got everything painted, kind of put back together. Just need to get the seals, get them in there, all the rivets put back in, and yeah, we're coming along. I get the side windows in. I need to measure my rear drums. I'll do that. Show you how to put rear shoes. Most people hate doing it. To me, the drum brakes are not that bad to put brakes on. Stretching the springs is the worst. But I'll show you how to do rear brakes, it's a semi-floater, but we need to put brakes on the old 95-ton truck. It's got a full floater in the back of it, so we'll video that and have a video of a 14-bolt full floater and a 14-bolt semi-floater. These are a whole lot easier to put brakes on the back of. A whole lot. You know, the drum comes off just like a 10-bolt, 12-bolt. You can just pull the drum off, change the brakes. The full floater, you have to pull the axle, pull the hub assembly off. It's more of a pain. They are a lot heavier, beefier rear end, and I've got one to go in this truck eventually, maybe. We'll see how the old 9.5-inch 14-bolt does. So, yeah, hang around. Hopefully, you know, I'm hoping by the first of the year I can drive it down the road, kind of see how everything does. Hopefully everything goes good. But again, thanks for watching. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe.